I chose 5 99 Nights characters to transform them into mobs here in Minecraft. I'm going to transform from the cultist to the deer. And in addition, I'm going to make a special habitat for each of them inspired by each game scenario. And the first character I'm going to transform will be the cultist. This is that character that has horns and he also carries a crossbow. And the best mob to transform into him is of course going to be the pillager. So that's why I'm going to defeat this one here. And here is his 3D model. So I'm going to select all the parts of the body and I'm going to delete. I'm going to start creating the cultist from his leg. Duplicate to the side, make these cubes to represent his clothes. On the right side, I'm going to make the arm. And so I don't have to do everything again, just duplicate. On top of the body, I'm already going to create the mask and his head. And on top of all this, I'm going to create several cubes like this to be the horn. And so I don't need to do everything again, just duplicate and drag to the side. And the cultist is ready. And this is how he turned out here in Minecraft, guys. Look how cool. He even carries a crossbow, just like the pillager. And if I go into survival mode, he will definitely shoot at me, just like the cultist from 99 Nights in Roblox. But now I have to defeat all of them. And this proves that he is very strong, since he has the same power as the pillagers. My God, there are a lot of them here. And I died. I want to have a battle between the cultist and the pillager. I want to see who is the strongest of these two. And the battle is going to begin, guys. The two will be shooting arrows at each other. I want to see who will win. Actually, I'm rooting for the cultist, since he is a more beautiful mob. But the question is, will he win this battle? He shot another arrow. The pillager shot another one, and he's going to shoot the last one. Let's go. Let's go. Beat him. And unfortunately, the cultist lost. But that doesn't matter, because now I'm going to make a special habitat where he will live. And my idea is to try to recreate the color of the cultist king's castle. So I'm going to start by digging some blocks deep, and here at the bottom, I'm going to make the floor with grass. For the walls, I'm going to use this mossy stone brick block. And in addition, I'm going to alternate with some cobblestones. So the cultist doesn't escape from here. I'm going to place some iron bars, and in addition, I'm going to make a cage where they hold the bears. As decoration, I'm going to make some stones scattered around the habitat. I'm going to place smoke leaves. And this here is the final result of the construction that turned out very cool. I even made some decorations here. I placed a table in the middle of the habitat. Here I made a cage where there is a very sad bear inside it. Not to mention the cultist turned out very similar to the one from Roblox. So that's why the score I'm going to give to the 3D model will be 7 out of 10, and for the habitat that was very well decorated will be 9 out of 10. Comment your score here below in the comments. The next character I'm going to recreate here in Minecraft will be the deer. Since there isn't a deer in Minecraft, the mob I'm going to use will be the Ravager. But there's a catch, he deals a lot of damage. So that's why I'll have to eliminate all these pillagers first before he attacks me. Oh no, he's shooting a lot of arrows. Run away. I know, I have this mob here that can enchant my items. If I keep clicking on him with this sword, he will fill this with enchantments. So I'm going to get the maximum enchantment I can. Let's go. Click faster because time is running out, and now I have enough power to hit him. I'm going to take a lot of health. Just one more hit and I finished him off. I can literally delete all the parts of the Ravager's body to start making the 99 Nights deer. And the first thing I'm going to create will be his leg. Make the second one like this. This cube on top will be his belly. Behind it, I'm going to make the tail. On top, make the chest. These two cubes will be his arm. In addition, I spent a good amount of time making the hand and fingers. On top of the torso, I'm going to make the head. Underneath it, I'm going to make the mouth like this. Here in front, the snout. On the sides, the 2 ears. And to complete, I created the horn. Here in Minecraft, he turned out like this, guys. Look how cool! He is a super strong mob. He will attack anyone who is in front of him. The crops and even the villagers. And with one hit, he finished off this villager, and now he went to attack the other one. Just like in the game, it's almost impossible to kill him. I can only because I have this super strong sword, but if I didn't, he would kill me with just 2 hits. To have an idea of his strength, I'm going to put him side by side with the Iron Golem. Who do you think will win? I think the Golem will win because he gives the hits faster, and that's what happened. But even so, guys, the deer turned out very similar to the one in the game. I made this animation of him with his hand forward, which turned out very cool. I won't deny that it took a lot of work to make these horns here, but so far, the deer and the cultist are very close to the real character. Take a look at this. Side by side here, you can see that it is very similar. So that's why my score for him will definitely be 10 out of 10, and just like I did with the cultist, let's make a habitat for the deer. So I'm going to start by digging the hole with 3 blocks deep. I'm going to fill the floor with grass. The walls I'm going to make with oak wood. My idea for this construction is to recreate the camp. So that's why I chose this block to look like that wooden protection. And since this is a camp, I'm going to place a campfire here. Here in this corner, I'm going to place a little water, and around it, I'm going to make a carrot plantation. To finish, I'm going to place a fence here in front, and this is the final result of the construction that turned out simply incredible. I tried to represent the camp here, and I think I succeeded because I placed a campfire here in the middle, I placed that carrot plantation, and even though the deer can't enter the camp, this time he will live in it. And my score for this construction will of course be a 9 out of 10. Comment what you thought here below in the comments. And the next character I'm going to recreate here in Minecraft will be the fairy. And since the fairy flies, the mob I'm going to choose to transform her into will be the ally. And he is trapped in this pillager camp. Actually, it's the cultist camp. So I'll have to eliminate all of them because the ally is trapped in one of these prisons. So take that cultist, take that sword hit. Oh no, the bear appeared. Don't attack the bear. Finish off that cultist, take this. My God, they have a lot of health. What? There are some more here, so I'll have to finish off all of them. And here is the ally trapped. So I'm going to free him. And unlike what I did with the other mobs, since the ally is peaceful, the only thing I need to do is to grab him with my hand. And done, I captured him. And here is the 3D model. So I'm going to delete all the body parts. Great. I'm going to start creating her from the leg. Here at the tip, I'm going to make a piece of the foot. I'm going to duplicate to the side. On top of that, I'm going to make the torso. And between the legs and the torso, I'm going to make her skirt like this. On top of the body, I'm going to make the head. Here on the side, I'm going to make the arm. And I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. To finish, I'm going to make the right wing and the left one. And this is the 3D model. Ready? Here in Minecraft, she turned out like this. Look how cool. She flies just like the ally, since I only changed the body, and that turned out amazing. I'm going to place her here next to the photo so we can see how similar this turned out. And it turned out very cool, guys. Take a look at this. I also made the wings, flapping animation, her little leg, as if she were flying. The arms, when she starts to move, the arms go forward like this. And when she stands still, the arms go down. Although the fairy's model turned out very simple, since she is not a very difficult character to make, the score I'm going to give this will be neither too high nor too low. I think a 6 out of 10 is fair. That's because of all the ones I've created so far, this was the easiest. But to make up for the lack of work I had to do on this model, let's make the most beautiful habitat of all. And my idea for this construction is to recreate her mushroom house. And for that, I'm going to start by replacing these cobblestone blocks with these white blocks that are mushroom blocks. In addition, I'm going to raise the walls. So this doesn't have just one color. I'm going to place this red mushroom block, which will make the construction even more beautiful. Here in the corner, I'm going to make a small enclosure, and inside it, I'm going to place several flowers. In this empty space, I'm literally going to build her house. So I'm going to raise the walls with this block. On top of the construction, I'm going to place these red mushroom blocks. Here in front, I'm going to place a stair with a door. I'm going to close the front of the habitat with a fence. And finally, I'm going to place some grass on the ground. And this is the final result of the fairy's habitat, guys. I built her house here, made this small decoration with flowers, and because it turned out very beautiful, my score will be 9 out of 10. And the next character I'm going to recreate here in Minecraft will be the owl. And my idea is to transform a phantom into her. And since there aren't any of them here, I had to wait for night to fall. And here is the phantom. It will be very easy to eliminate him. I just need to hit him. Done. And here is the 3D model. I'm going to select all parts of his body, and I'm going to delete them. I'm going to start making the owl from her leg, which will be like this. Underneath that, I'm going to create several cubes to be the paw. To avoid having to repeat everything, just select and duplicate to the side. Between the two legs, I'm going to create this cube here to be his body. Underneath that, I'm going to make several feathers. On top, I'm going to make the head. On the side of the body, I'm going to make the arm like this. And at the tip, the hand. For the wing, I'm going to create 2 cubes like this, and I'm going to alternate the size as it reaches the tip. And this is how the owl turned out here in Minecraft, guys. Look at that. But he's walking. Instead of walking, he was supposed to be flying. What? Oh no. Now I noticed. I forgot to make his flying animation. Wow. But even so, he turned out very cool, guys. Look at that. The problem is that it doesn't make sense for him to be walking in the sky, but look at the animation and also the 3D model. This really turned out very similar to the real character from 99 Nights in the Forest. I tried to make it very similar. Even his hand, his wings kind of shrunken. Without a doubt, this was the most difficult mob to make because he has several feathers. Not to mention that the hands also took a lot of work since they have several cubes. But even so, this turned out very cool. Here in the back, you can see his wing and some visual bugs appear, but don't mind that. What matters is that this is very similar to that character. I chose the Phantom because it flies very fast, and in addition, it attacks and flies away. This makes it very difficult for us to finish off the owl. But is the owl capable of eliminating this zombie villager? Let's see who wins. The advantage the owl has is that it flies. The zombie, on the other hand, has no advantage unless his hit was stronger, but the problem is that the owl is flying very high. You know what? I'm not going to wait for this whole battle. Take this. Although this owl is very slow flying, the score I'm going to give to the 3D model that turned out very beautiful is of course going to be 8 out of 10. And now let's build a habitat for her that will be right here. So just like I did in the other habitats, I'm going to dig a hole here. I'm going to fill this whole floor with grass. I'm going to make the walls with stripped oak wood. To prevent the floor from being completely flat, I'm going to make a small step here. In the middle of this construction, I'm going to make a structure that is on the 99 Nights map, which is the watchtower. So for that, I'm going to raise 4 pillars with these fences. On top of it, I'm going to place oak slabs. In addition, I'm going to place a fence around it, and on top, I'm going to make a roof to represent that ladder that you climb. I'm going to place some slabs like this. In addition, I'm going to make some trees like this. Here in the middle, I'm going to build a small lake, and finally, I'm going to plant some carrots. And finally, this is how his habitat turned out. It turned out very cool, especially this structure I made here. I placed some plantations. I made the trees, and I really liked it. So that's why my score for the habitat will be 10 out of 10. And let's go to the next character I'm going to recreate here in Minecraft, which will be the ram. And I had to climb to the top of a mountain because the mob I'm going to transform into him will be the goat. Here in the 3D modeling program, I can already start by deleting all the parts of his body. And to create the ram's body, it will be very similar to the deer's. I've already made the legs. Now here on top, I'm going to create his belly. Make the torso. This cube here will be the head. These two will be the snout and the mouth. Make the 2 ears for him. And for the horn, I kept creating one cube smaller than the other and kind of rotating them so it would have this curve. Finally, I made the arm, the hand, and the fingers. And this is how the ram turned out here in Minecraft, guys. Look how cool! This turned out very beautiful. I really liked how the 3D model turned out, especially the horns. It turned out very similar to the game. His body also turned out very similar to the deer's. Look at that! The only thing that changes are the horns, and the ram ends up being a little shorter. But even so, this turned out very cool. And by activating the shaders, this becomes even more beautiful. Comment your rating here below in the comments, because I personally think this is worth 10 out of 10. I placed it side by side with the photo. You can see that he is very similar, just like I did with the other characters. I tried to make each of them as similar as possible. But now, what's missing is for us to recreate a habitat for him. And my idea is to make that gray biome where there is lava. So that's why I'm going to make the walls here with basalt block and the floor to look as similar as possible. I'm going to use deep slate. Here in the middle, I'm going to dig a hole like this, and I'm going to place lava. And in the middle of this lava lake, I'm going to make that dead tree. And for that, I'm also going to use the basalt block. So this habitat doesn't get so empty, I'm going to place some slabs to simulate stones. And to represent the bushes, I'm going to use dried coral. Finally, this is the final result of the construction. And it turned out incredible. It matched the ram a lot. And that's why my score will be 9 out of 10. Comment what you thought here below in the comments, and take the opportunity to watch this video that is appearing on the screen and subscribe to the channel